Hello. Today we're going to be praying for people. I'm going to go through lists of various groups of people, and you may want to pray as I speak, or jot down names, or put me on pause and stop and pray then. But we're going to think about those who need special prayers today. And so today we pray for our leaders. We pray for our Prime Minister, our Premier, and our Mayor, our medical officers of health, and other leaders who are making decisions. And so we pray for wisdom for them as they decide for us in things that need to be done. We pray for our International Salvation Army leaders, Commissioner Rosalie Peddle, General Brian Peddle. We pray for our leaders here in Canada, Commissioners Floyd and Tracy Tidd, and also praying locally for Captain Andrew and for Casey and our ministry board as they minister here and give leadership to us here at the church in Barrie. We pray for our essential workers that have been talked about many, many times over the last number of weeks. We know who they are. We know what they're doing to keep everything running. And so you may have an essential worker in your home and in your family, people in our own core, our church. So please pray for them. Pray for scientists and research teams as they look for a vaccine, a cure, some treatments for COVID-19. Pray for residents of long-term care homes, retirement homes, group homes. This has taken such a tragic toll during this time, and so we pray for people who are there, staff, and others who are the residents of these places, and so we pray for their protection. We pray for individuals and families, businesses who we know locally where jobs are lost, may or may not be recovered. Businesses may not survive. Just so many unknowns, so we pray for them today. Pray for families and children who are living in poverty, some who had already been struggling, others whom this is something new. And so we pray for them, those who depend on the food bank, and children in particular who depend on or have depended on meal programs at schools, which obviously is not there for them now. And so we think of them. Pray also for those who are in abusive home situations, usually women and children, sometimes men, elders. And so pray that they would be safe, because home isn't a safe place for them. And if you do know of someone or suspect, please do something about that. Contact the authorities. And so we pray for their protection this time. We pray for those who suffer from depression and anxiety and fear, some who maybe never did before, but this has caused such great concerns. And so mental health issues are such a big concern in these days. Pray for parents with children at home, and so many different scenarios. Parents maybe considered essential workers, or parents at home trying to homeschool children, different ages, and looking for daycare, and so many different, as I said, scenarios. And so we pray for them, and for the teachers who are trying to teach from a distance, and maybe even getting back into the schools within the next few weeks. Pray for those who have lost loved ones during this time. Many, or all of them, they can't have a funeral celebration or something very, very small. And so these are important rituals in our lives, and so we pray for them. I've recently heard two very tragic and sad things. We were listening to a radio show one day, and a man whose wife had died recently, and from COVID-19, and he was all by himself, and he was lonely, and he was grieving, and the talk show host was so good and so kind to him, but the man was all alone, and he was so upset. And then I was reading in Maclean's magazine of a man whose wife of 60 years died of leukemia just a couple of days before the regulations began, and so he had to cancel her service and all of that, and he said, "I cannot cry on anyone's shoulder over Zoom. I am lonelier than I have ever been. No one has touched me in 5 weeks." And so many people who are so lonely, and normally at these times they have people gathering around them not been able to do that. And so let's bring them before the Lord in prayer. There's a prayer that says, God is before me, he will be my guide. God is behind me, no ill can betide. God is beside me to comfort and cheer. God is around me, so why should I fear? And we would say today that, Lord, please hear our prayers on behalf of these people. May he bless you. Take care.